Helen, and I'll go ahead and introduce us while Helen gets started or gets us set up. So, as Margaret said, I'm Cherie Gilchrist, and I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at LIA of North Carolina. Helen is our Chief Communications Officer, and we are absolutely pleased to be here to showcase the incredible work that Legal Aid is doing to close the justice gap and how innovation plays a critical role in that effort. As the director of our innovation lab, I lead a team that explores creative and tech-driven solutions to make legal services more accessible, effective, and scalable. And one of our flagship projects is LIA, the Legal Information Assistant. LIA is an AI-powered virtual assistant developed in partnership with LawDroid, a software developer, and with user testing done by our clients and students at Vanderbilt School of Law. We're excited to share how LIA is transforming the way that we serve our communities. But first, I'll go ahead and let LIA introduce herself.
Hi, my name is LIA. I was created by Legal Aid of North Carolina as an AI-powered virtual assistant. Developed in Legal Aid's Innovation Lab in collaboration with LawDroid, I am designed to provide efficient and high-quality legal information to underserved communities. I do not provide legal advice, but I can give you helpful information and resources. Let's see how this actually works. You can start with the suggestions in the blue tabs or type your answer in the chat box, such as, "What are my rights as a tenant?" Be clear and specific. The more details you give, the better I can help. Here are some search results. If you are a victim of domestic violence, there are key points listed at the top. Additional resources include links to self-help and links to clinics at Legal Aid. Follow the prompts. If I ask for more information, just answer to get the best help. Come try me out on our website at legalaidnc.org. I am here to help you find information and resources.
All right, so that was, oh, sorry, do you want to go, Cherie?
Oh, you could go.
That we thought it would be fitting to let LIA introduce herself since she is a chatbot. So that was a short introduction from her about what she does. But now we're going to show you some other examples of what LIA can do. I'm going to play you a video of LIA answering questions about housing, but that being said, LIA can answer questions about housing, domestic violence, consumer law, disaster relief, general lands, sort of any of the services we offer, LIA can answer. So we will watch this. So we set up these prompts in the beginning to let people know that this is not an attorney, and if they have actual legal questions, they need to seek advice from an attorney. So they go through the prompts and accept all those, and then they can type in their question, which you can see going on here. She's saying, "I am being evicted from my apartment complex. What can I do?" This is something that we get a lot at Legal Aid. So when we first created LIA, the time for her to respond to questions was about 2 minutes, but we've gotten it down to about 20 or 30 seconds, which was a big accomplishment because one of the biggest things we heard was that she's too slow. No one's going to wait this long. So we really worked hard to bring that time down. Now you can see that LIA is answering the question, talking about how to appeal the process, all the general information somebody might need when they're getting evicted. You can see the follow-up questions popping up in case a lot of times our clients don't exactly know what they need help with. So we like to include the follow-up questions in case they have questions they didn't realize that they had. So you can choose the suggested prompts as we just did, or type in your own second question, and then she will respond to that as well. So you can see here, LIA is now answering the second question about how to prepare for court. And once you do that, you just click I'm done asking questions, and we integrated a review process, which we'll talk about a little later on, because this is always a work in progress. It's always going to be updated, and we want to make sure it's serving our client community. Another one of Leah's features is she speaks pretty much any language, which is really important. Our client population speaks English and Spanish. And so we wanted to make sure that anyone can access her and ask questions. So here's an example of her answering a Spanish question. I don't speak Spanish, so I just copy and pasted something, but she's asking about a child custody question. So here you can see the question in Spanish, and it's sort of the same where she says researching, and we'll look for the question and then respond in Spanish. And so, yeah, you can see the response is all in Spanish, and Leah does this on her own. We have some resources in Spanish on our website, but we don't have everything in Spanish. So she does the translations herself, which is awesome because it saves a lot of time. We don't have to translate all of our documents into Spanish. So you can see she's done asking questions. And then the last demo we wanted to show you all was a lot of our clients have literacy issues. I think, Sheree, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've done studies and most of our clients are at like a 4th or 5th grade reading level. So we wanted to make sure that Leah could respond to typos or confusing questions. So here's an example of that. So they're asking about having to go to court. And a lot of people are just nervous about going to court. It can be scary if you've never been before. So we wanted to make sure we had not only strictly legal information, but general information about what it's like going to court, what to expect, what do you wear, that sort of thing, because that makes a lot of people nervous. So here you can see it talks about how to dress, be on time, turn off your phone, just giving advice to someone who may be scared about the process. So those are our 3 demos. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the resources and how we got that set up. It's a super simple process. On the left here, you can see the back end of LawDroid, which is who we use to create our chat bot, and then also an example of a resource we would upload. All of our resources were on our website. So what I did is I went in and I copy and pasted everything from our website and put them in Word documents divided up by sections, whether it be housing, consumer issues, domestic violence, and all you do is upload it and Leah learns from there. So all of this wouldn't have been possible without our team. So here's everyone that was involved in the making of Leah. We had our AI developer with LawDroid, a web developer who we've already had on staff, me, our Lance staff. They were a huge component, sorry, Lance, Legal Aid of North Carolina staff. That's our acronym. And they did a lot of testing, gave feedback, because they interact with the clients. They were able to say what they thought they would need. We had actual clients and client representatives test it out. We went out into the community and had people try it. The law students, as Sheree mentioned, they tested it out and gave a lot of great feedback because they had the perspective of a law student. Innovation Lab staff, which is Sheree and her team, and then our legal and compliance team to make sure it worked as it should.
Right. And I saw a question in the chat about the tech background. So that's what I'm going to go into now. As we have said, we've partnered with LawDroid, and they are a legal AI expert in this field. But as the domain experts, we provided the curated resource material, and then LawDroid used that to create the knowledge base from which Leah draws from. So everything that Helen has been talking about, what I wanted to share also is that we really used a human-centered design approach, which resulted in this collaborative and iterative process. And the models that you're seeing now in the demos, that's probably version 8 of what what, from where we started until now. And we're constantly improving and training and updating LIA in real time. A lot of the changes happen on the back end. So from a user perspective, they probably don't see day to day the changes that are being made, but based on the feedback we get, we update it. LawDroid's platform uses retrieval augmented generation, RAGs, to process the user's query and then synthesize that answer. And LIA itself is using, I think it's Claude Sonnet 3.5 right now for inference, but the platform, LawDroid, is AI agnostic. So integrating, any of the other models out there should be simple and easy, and we can easily update LIA with any new models as they become available. The prompt engineering that we use was tailored specifically for the question and answer context, with the prompts refined based on user feedback. I don't know if you noticed in the presentation that Helen did, where it does give the user an option at the very end to provide feedback. And that feedback is then retrieved and we review it. I see them still in real time because I'm curious as to what's being what people are saying and how they're using it. This is an example, and I wanted to showcase this one specifically because if you notice, the rating that the person provided was a 5. They said it was very helpful, but the question really had nothing to do with the law. It was something that said, what should I do if I'm in over my head during a case? And LIA was able to answer, and you can see on the back end what that looks like. We see the question, we see the time, the date, and the way in which LIA responded to that query. She does the same thing with legal queries. So if the rating was related to a legal issue on the back end, this is what we would see as well. So in terms of the project architecture itself, so LIA is directed to respond that it doesn't know the answer to a user's question if the answer is not found in that knowledge base. It is a closed system. It's not searching the web. It's not relying on LLM's generalized training. The challenge with that, though, is that there are questions that remain unanswered, or because we tell people that we can't answer them, that there is a little bit of frustration by design. But what that does is that it allows us to go back and review the feedback, see what are the questions that are coming in that LIA is currently not responding to, and then tweak our processes if we think it should be something she can respond to or it's safe to respond to. We're always, walking that line between what's legal information and what's advice. And so out of an abundance of caution, we have her right now saying no if it's not in our knowledge base. But again, like I said, we go back and we try to strike that balance between providing a controlled, safe environment for delivering reliable responses, and as well as improving the system's capability. One of the things that's really neat about LIA 2, it's super easy and simple to update and make changes. Part of the reason I wanted Helen to join us is to show, somebody she's not a lawyer, has no legal training. She utilizes LIA. She manages the resource material on the back end. She's the one that makes the updates on the back end. It's very simple. When in North Carolina, we had a hurricane that hit one of our Western counties, and within minutes, Helen was able to go in and upload our disaster relief materials, and LIA in real time started responding to disaster relief questions. So that's how simple and easy it is. All right, so I think we can wrap up there. I'm looking at the time. We had some poll questions that we wanted to share if you wanted to check Leah out yourselves, but we'll jump right into questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Helen and Cherie. All right, in the room, there's also some questions online. So let me ask, so Satish said, how do you market LIA? Has there been resistance from within the org or outside?
So
Sorry,
I'll
you go,
talk to
Sheree.
the resistance piece and Helen can talk to the marketing piece. As it relates to resistance, there was initially, I think that's just general trepidation around AI at the time that we launched it. You know, AI was still fairly new. We are a law firm. And so there's always that general concern among lawyers whenever we implement new technology, there's that initial nervousness and need for caution. But over time, and because we were very mindful of involving as many people in the process to gain buy-in, that people are now seeing the benefits. We have people come back and tell us all the time that they're using it out in the field when they're meeting with their clients. They're sharing the resource as a way for people to get their questions answered if the attorney's not available to give legal information. So I think over time that resistance is waning.
Yeah,
Helen?
and for marketing, we have Leah obviously on the website in the bottom right. We have, or she's an icon in the bottom right. We have her in a drop down. We do a social media, the typical forms of marketing. And just for some stats, since we launched her in, what was it, July, Sheree? I can't remember the exact date,
July.
but sometime there, over 15,000 people have tried her out, and we get around 2,000 people using her a month. So